Claire Mason walked along the wide corridor of the orbital shipyard. The air was cool, and the hum of machinery filled the space. She could feel the weight of the moment. Today, the largest warship humanity had ever built would be unveiled to the galaxy. She had spent years helping design some of its systems, and now she could see the result with her own eyes. The ship hung in orbit like a silent giant, its metal hull gleaming in the light of the sun. The Titan-class warship, named Resolute, stretched farther than any ship in human history. Its engines were massive, capable of speeds that older vessels could not hope to match. Its weapon systems were state-of-the-art, combining firepower, precision, and defense technologies in one structure. Claire felt both pride and nervousness. This ship was not just a weapon, it was a statement. She walked past engineers and technicians who were busy with final checks. Each person moved quickly but carefully, knowing that one mistake could ruin months of preparation. Claire stopped to check the ship's main energy core on her portable monitor. The numbers were stable. Everything was within expected ranges. She breathed a small sigh of relief. Captain Daniel Hayes entered the corridor, his boots making a firm sound on the metal floor. He was a tall man with short brown hair and calm eyes. He looked over the crew, making sure everyone was ready. His voice was steady when he spoke. "Final systems check. We leave for the demonstration zone in 1 hour. I want all stations manned and ready. Remember, the galaxy is watching." The crew nodded. There was tension in the air. Humanity had grown quickly, but the alien empires that controlled most of known space did not see humans as equals. Some considered them weak. Some feared them. Few respected them. The unveiling of the Resolute would change that. Claire followed Captain Hayes to the observation deck. From there, the ship looked even more massive. She could see the hangar bays, the energy weapons lined along the hull, and the massive engines at the back. Engineers scurried about, making final adjustments. The humans had worked in silence for years, building a ship that no one else believed they could create. A monitor lit up with incoming messages. Alien observers were nearby, their ships hidden at the edge of human space. The Dralax, an insect-like species, had sent a warning tone. They had noticed unusual activity. The Kirans, a species known for their size and strength, were also monitoring from afar. Claire ignored the messages for now. She focused on her work, making sure the ship was ready. The countdown began. Captain Hayes spoke calmly over the ship's intercom. "All stations report readiness. Energy core stable. Engines online. Weapons systems operational. Visual systems online. Prepare for deployment in 3, 2, 1. The Resolute's engines fired. Blue and white energy flared from the massive thrusters. The ship lifted from the station slowly at first, then faster, moving with surprising agility for its size. Claire felt a thrill run through her. This was it. Humanity was stepping into the galaxy with a strength no one had expected. Outside, smaller human ships formed a protective formation around the Titan-class warship. They looked tiny in comparison, but each was piloted by experienced humans ready to support the Resolute. Captain Hayes guided the ship carefully, demonstrating its maneuverability. Even in orbit, it could spin, roll, and adjust its course faster than any alien observers predicted. Claire returned to the control console, watching the energy readouts. The power flowing through the ship was immense but controlled. This warship was not built for reckless destruction. It was precise. Every system had been tested, every calculation checked. Humans had worked long nights, sacrificing comfort and sleep, to make this ship the best it could be. The alien observers must have been shocked. The Dralax fleet, usually arrogant and confident, sent messages filled with confusion. How could humans create something so advanced in so short a time? The Kirans were silent, which Claire knew meant caution. The human ship was not just big, it was unpredictable. That unpredictability made it dangerous. Captain Hayes gave commands over the intercom. Initiate first demonstration sequence. Weapons offline. Flight maneuvers only. Show them our capabilities without aggression. The Resolute moved through space like a dancer. It spun, rolled, and shifted its massive frame with precision. Engines flared, energy shields lit up, and holographic displays showed the ship's systems in action. Every move was calculated to show power and control. Claire watched the monitors carefully. Sensors picked up small alien observation drones. They moved around the human fleet, trying to understand the technology. Claire smiled slightly. The drones would record everything, but they would not comprehend the human ingenuity behind it. Hours passed in preparation and demonstration. The humans were calm and focused, while the alien observers grew uneasy. None of the galactic powers had expected humans to reach this level so quickly. The Resolute's presence alone was a message. Humanity was no longer a minor player in the galaxy. Captain Hayes gave another command. Deploy auxiliary systems. Activate energy displays for tactical demonstration. From the ship's sides, arrays of energy emitters lit up, forming a dazzling display. Lights, shields, and controlled plasma flares moved in coordinated patterns. It was not just a show of power. It was a warning. The humans were telling the galaxy they could defend themselves and they could strike back if needed. Claire monitored each system carefully. The ship's core hummed steadily, responding to every command. She could feel the vibrations through her boots. Every piece of technology on board worked together. Humans had designed it to be efficient, adaptable, and resilient. Captain Hayes paused and spoke over the intercom. All stations, prepare for final approach. We will leave orbit and demonstrate operational range. Report any anomalies immediately. The ship began to move away from the station. It glided past smaller human ships, moving toward deep space. The alien observers followed, their fleets hidden but watching closely. Humans had chosen a remote area near the edge of the Orion cluster for this demonstration. It was a place where they could show power without risking populated systems. Claire kept an eye on the main energy console. Everything remained stable. The ship systems were designed to adapt in real time. Humans had built failsafes, backups, and redundancies. Even if something went wrong, the Resolute could recover. Captain Hayes spoke again. All stations, report readiness for display to the galaxy. One by one, crew members confirmed. The ship's communications sent a comm message to all nearby alien powers. Humans were ready. Humans were strong. Humans were watching. The demonstration continued for hours. The ship performed complex maneuvers, showing agility, strength, and advanced technology. Alien fleets, though unseen, must have been calculating their next move. Every movement of the Resolute challenged their assumptions about humanity. Finally, Captain Hayes gave a simple order. Return to station, maintain position, stand down from demonstration mode. The ship slowed, engines powering down to idle. Energy displays dimmed, and the massive frame of the Titan-class warship hovered silently in space. Claire breathed a sigh of relief. Everything had gone perfectly. The humans had achieved what many galactic powers thought impossible. Crew members exchanged looks of pride and exhaustion. They had done it. Humans had unveiled a weapon of power and ingenuity without firing a single shot. The galaxy had been shown the potential of humanity. Claire walked back to the observation deck, looking out at the stars. Somewhere hidden beyond human sensors, the alien powers were talking, calculating, and reconsidering. Humans had changed the rules of the game. Captain Hayes stood beside her, watching the silent stars. He spoke quietly. They will not forget this day. Humans have earned their place, Claire nodded. She knew he was right. The Titan-class warship was not just metal and energy. It was the symbol of human determination, intelligence, and courage. For centuries, humans had been underestimated. Today, they had announced to the galaxy that the age of underestimation was over. The observation deck grew quiet. Crew members rested, monitored systems, and prepared for the next steps. Humanity had made its debut, but this was only the beginning. The galaxy would respond and humans would have to be ready. Claire watched the Resolute in orbit. It was more than a ship. It was a statement. It was proof that humans could rise, even against the greatest powers in the galaxy. And for the first time, she allowed herself a small smile of pride. Humans had taken the first step toward a new future, and no one could stop them now. The stars beyond seemed to shine a little brighter. Humanity had awakened, and the galaxy would remember the day the Titan-class warship made its debut. The Resolute moved slowly into the empty stretch of space near the Orion cluster. Its massive hull reflected the distant stars, and the smaller human ships that accompanied it seemed almost like toys beside the Titan-class warship. Claire Mason walked through the corridors, checking systems again. Even though the first demonstration in orbit had gone smoothly, this was the moment the galaxy would truly see human strength. Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge, eyes focused on the viewscreens. The galaxy's powers were watching, hidden beyond sensors and communications jammers, but the humans could feel their presence. The Dralax fleet lingered near the edge of known space, sending quiet signals of observation. The Kirans were rumored to be nearby as well, and smaller scouts from unknown species scanned every movement of the human fleet. Energy core stable, Claire reported to Captain Hayes. All systems normal, weapons offline for demonstration, flight maneuvers ready. Good, he said. Remember, this is about showing strength, not provoking war. We want them to respect humanity, not attack us. The Resolute shifted forward, its massive engines creating a faint glow in the dark vacuum. It moved with surprising precision, considering its size. The smaller ships adjusted formation around it, keeping perfect distance. Human pilots had trained for this moment for years. Every movement was calculated, but it also carried a hint of unpredictability, something the alien powers would notice and worry about. Claire tapped a few keys on her console. Sensors picked up alien observation drones nearby. The Dralax had sent insect-like ships to watch closely, hovering in silent patterns. The Kirans, larger ships, stayed hidden behind asteroid belts, analyzing every energy signature. Humans had expected this. The galaxy had underestimated them for too long. Captain Hayes activated the first part of the demonstration. Flight Sequence Alpha, show agility and precision. The Resolute shifted its massive frame with unexpected grace. It rolled, twisted, and spun while staying on course. Engines flared, energy shields pulsed, and holographic displays showed the movement in real time. The smaller human ships mirrored the Titan-class warship's maneuvers, creating a synchronized display of technology and skill. Claire smiled slightly. She knew the alien powers were watching, even if they could not understand the human ingenuity behind it. Humans were not just showing size, they were showing control. Power without control was dangerous. Power with control was terrifying. A monitor flashed. The Dralax drones were recording every move. Claire could almost imagine the insect-like creatures' confusion. How could a single species develop such a massive ship so quickly? The Kirans would remain silent, but their own calculations would be troubled. Humans had done something none of the galaxy's powers expected. Captain Hayes spoke calmly over the intercom. Initiate second display. Auxiliary systems online. Energy arrays activated. From the sides of the ship, rows of energy emitters lit up. Beams of controlled plasma flared, forming geometric patterns that moved along the hull. Shields pulsed in rhythm, reflecting the light in dazzling colors. Claire's team monitored every sensor reading. The systems worked perfectly. Power distribution stable, Claire said. No fluctuations. Everything is within expected parameters. Excellent, Captain Hayes replied. Prepare for tactical demonstration. Flight paths Beta and Gamma. The Resolute shifted again, moving through space with the smaller ships in tight formation. They practiced coordinated maneuvers that would normally take months to perfect. Human pilots anticipated each movement, communicating silently through advanced data links. Every turn, every acceleration, was calculated to show precision and tactical ability. Claire watched as the displays lit up with patterns. The alien fleets could not understand the complexity. They had weapons, yes, but humans had strategy and creativity. The Titan-class warship was more than a weapon. It was a symbol of human adaptability and intelligence. Hours passed. The Resolute performed drills, simulations, and complex flight patterns. The alien observers sent messages among themselves, though the humans could only detect the signals, not their content. Claire imagined the confusion and fear in those messages. Humans had taken the galaxy by surprise. "Prepare for final display," Captain Hayes ordered. "Energy systems full power. Show our operational range." The Resolute activated its engines to maximum output. The massive warship moved through space with incredible speed. Energy shields flared brightly, reflecting light across the smaller ships. Controlled plasma beams extended from the sides, moving in sweeping patterns. The humans demonstrated both defense and attack capabilities, though no shots were fired. This was a show of strength, not a fight. Claire monitored the core. Power levels remained stable. The ship systems were built to handle stress beyond what humans had ever used before. Engineers had designed backups for every system. Failures were possible, yes, but unlikely. The humans had thought of everything. Captain Hayes stood quietly on the bridge, watching the alien observers' movements. Even though they remained hidden, humans could sense hesitation. None of the galactic powers had anticipated a ship like this. It was too large, too fast, too advanced, and humans were unpredictable. That combination made them dangerous. "Observation drones detected," Claire said. "Dralex and Kieran's both scanning, data streaming back to their fleets." "Good," Captain Hayes said. "Let them see. Let them understand that humans are not weak. Let them understand that we are ready to defend ourselves if necessary." The human fleet maintained formation as the Resolute continued maneuvers. The display lasted for hours, pushing both ship and crew to their limits. Claire felt her own body tense from the long hours, but she knew the galaxy would notice every detail. Humans were showing more than size or firepower. They were showing intelligence, courage, and coordination. A small alarm sounded on Claire's console. "Minor fluctuation in plasma emitters," she reported. "Correcting automatically." Captain Hayes nodded. "Excellent. Systems respond perfectly. That is exactly what I want them to see." The display concluded with a massive coordinated movement. The Titan-class warship spun, rolled, and fired a controlled energy burst into a nearby asteroid field. The burst created a spectacular visual display, safe for nearby planets and colonies, but powerful enough to demonstrate the ship's destructive potential. The alien observers paused. No one spoke. Even the Dralex, usually quick to respond aggressively, were silent. The Kieran stayed hidden, their massive ships unmoving. Humanity had done what few thought possible. Claire allowed herself a small smile. The ship systems were performing perfectly, the crew was confident, and humanity had announced its arrival in the galaxy. This was more than a demonstration. This was a statement. Captain Hayes gave the final order. "All stations, return to standard formation. Weapons offline. Shields normal, prepare for debrief." The Resolute slowed, energy systems returning to normal. Smaller human ships aligned in formation, creating a protective ring around the Titan-class warship. Claire checked the monitors one last time. Everything remained stable. Systems were working perfectly. Humans had succeeded. Crew members moved through the ship, tired but proud. They had spent years building this moment. Every engineer, pilot, and technician had contributed. Now the galaxy would notice humanity in a way it had never done before. Captain Hayes walked through the bridge watching his crew. He spoke quietly but clearly, "This is only the beginning. Today we have shown them what humans can do. Tomorrow we will see how they respond. Be ready for anything." Claire nodded. She knew he was right. The alien powers would not simply ignore the humans now. They would analyze, calculate, and plan. But humanity had the advantage of unpredictability. Humans could adapt, change, and act in ways that no other species could predict. That was their greatest strength. The Resolute continued its slow patrol near the Orion cluster. Claire returned to the observation deck, looking out at the stars. Somewhere beyond human sensors, alien fleets were communicating, planning their next steps, but humans had the first advantage. Humans had shown strength without aggression, power without fear. Captain Hayes joined her quietly. "They will think twice before underestimating us again," he said. Claire nodded, still watching the distant stars. Humanity had stepped into the galaxy, and the galaxy had paused to take notice. The Titan-class warship was not just a machine. It was a promise, a warning, and a challenge all at once. The stars beyond seemed to shine with a new meaning. Humanity had arrived, and no one could ignore them now. The human fleet moved steadily through the empty space near the Orion cluster. The Resolute led the formation, massive and silent, while the smaller human ships formed a protective pattern around it. Claire Mason walked along the ship's corridors, checking energy outputs and sensor readings. Even though the demonstration had ended, she knew the real challenge was just beginning. Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge, eyes on the viewscreens. The galaxy's powers were not idle. He could sense the hesitation in their movements through the alien transmissions picked up by human sensors. The Dralax, with their insect-like bodies and sharp minds, were sending small fleets closer to the edge of human space. The Kirans remained silent, but the larger shapes of their ships could be detected near asteroid fields, careful to avoid direct observation. Humans were now being measured, studied, and tested. Claire checked her monitor again. "Captain, we are detecting multiple fleets moving cautiously near our border. Dralax and Kiran forces both present. They are scanning but not attacking." Captain Hayes nodded. "Good. That is exactly what we want. Let them see our presence but do not provoke them. This is about strategy and diplomacy, not destruction." The humans had always been underestimated. For centuries, other species had seen humans as weak or unimportant, but that had changed with the Resolute. The ship was not just powerful, it was a symbol of human ingenuity, adaptability, and courage. Now, the galaxy had to reconsider its assumptions. Meanwhile, aboard a neutral Galactic Council station, representatives from multiple powers gathered. The chamber was vast, filled with beings of every shape and size. Dralax leaders buzzed anxiously, their antennae twitching as they sent messages to their fleets. Kiran commanders remained silent, their large forms looming in shadowed corners. Other species whispered among themselves, debating the meaning of the humans' display. Ethan Brooks, a human diplomat, stepped into the council chamber. He wore the simple uniform of the United Earth Federation, but his presence carried confidence. He moved carefully among alien representatives, acknowledging their gestures with a calm nod. "The humans are here to speak," a Voran ambassador said, a reptilian creature with deep green scales and golden eyes. "They claim peaceful intentions, but their warship is beyond any known design. It is not just large, it is dangerous." Ethan raised his hand slightly, his voice steady. "We do not seek war. Humanity has grown strong because we faced threats and learned to survive. The Resolute is a symbol of our ability to protect ourselves. We hope the galaxy will respect that, not challenge it unnecessarily." A murmur spread through the chamber. The alien powers had always underestimated humans. Now they had to admit that humans were clever, organized, and willing to defend themselves. Back in space, Captain Hayes studied the alien movements. A small fleet of Dralax ships had approached closer to the human border than expected. They moved in a testing pattern, probing defenses, scanning energy signatures, and sending small messages that could be intercepted by human sensors. "Captain," Claire said, "they are testing our reactions. They want to see how we respond." Hayes nodded. "Prepare tactical responses but remain calm. Show strength, not aggression. We will not fire unless attacked." The Resolute shifted position, moving slightly to the side while the smaller ships mirrored its actions. Humans had trained for this moment. Every maneuver, every response was designed to confuse and impress the observer without escalating to conflict. The alien fleet paused. They had expected humans to panic or respond recklessly, but the humans were steady. They moved with precision and intelligence, adapting in real time. Every decision was calculated, yet flexible. Humans could improvise in ways other species could not predict. Claire watched the view screens, noting the energy outputs, the shields, and the engines. Everything was operating perfectly. The alien scouts could see that humans were ready, that humans could defend themselves, and that humans could strike back if necessary. That message alone was powerful. Captain Hayes addressed the crew. "Prepare for a demonstration of strategy. Not weapons, not attack. We will show coordination and intelligence. Follow my orders carefully. Remember, they are watching." The Resolute began a complex sequence of maneuvers. It rolled, spun, and accelerated while the smaller ships weaved around it. Sensors lit up, shields flared, and holographic displays tracked every movement. The humans created patterns in space that were both beautiful and intimidating. The alien fleets observed quietly, unable to predict the humans' next move. Hours passed. The aliens tested, humans adapted, and the galaxy watched silently. Ethan Brooks continued discussions at the council, emphasizing humanity's peaceful intentions but insisting that humans would defend themselves. His words carried authority, backed by the undeniable proof of the Titan-class warship's capabilities. A sudden alert sounded on the Resolute. Claire looked at the monitor. "Captain, a Kieran fleet is moving closer. They are within scanning range but not engaging yet. They are measuring our response time." Hayes nodded. "Steady, maintain formation, show strength and readiness. Do not overreact." The Kierans were strong and feared in the galaxy. They were large, heavily armed, and disciplined, yet even they hesitated in front of the Resolute. Its presence, size, and controlled power froze their usual confidence. Humans had achieved something remarkable. The mere presence of a single ship and its supporting fleet could cause hesitation among the galaxy's strongest powers. Claire felt a thrill of pride. Years of work, long nights, and countless calculations had led to this moment. Humanity was no longer underestimated. Humanity had announced itself to the galaxy, not with aggression, but with intelligence, courage, and skill. Captain Hayes gave orders over the intercom. "Initiate observational pattern Delta. Maintain distance, adapt to movements, and monitor communications. No offensive action unless attacked." The Resolute shifted smoothly through space, responding to the alien fleet's positions. Sensors tracked movements, shields adjusted, and engines powered perfectly. Humans demonstrated control, discipline, and strategy. The alien observers sent messages back and forth, trying to understand the humans' intentions. Claire watched closely. The human fleet was calm, precise, and ready. The aliens expected hesitation or panic, but none came. Every system functioned perfectly, every crew member followed orders, and every maneuver showed intelligence beyond what any other species might anticipate. Suddenly, a small group of Dralax ships broke formation, moving slightly closer to human space. Claire's fingers flew over the controls, monitoring shields and sensors. "Captain, they are probing more aggressively. They may be testing our reaction to potential threats." Hayes nodded calmly. "Prepare countermeasures. No firing. Let them see that humans respond intelligently, not violently, observe patterns and adapt. The humans executed coordinated maneuvers. The Resolute adjusted shields, moved engines, and changed trajectories smoothly. Smaller ships mirrored every adjustment. The alien fleet hesitated, unsure how humans were capable of such flexibility. They expected panic or errors, but there were none. Hours turned into a tense standoff. The alien fleets tested, humans adapted, and the galaxy held its breath. Captain Hayes spoke quietly to Claire. "They will not attack unless they miscalculate. Our job is to make miscalculation impossible. Keep systems online, monitor everything." Claire nodded. "Everything is stable. Systems are responding perfectly." Finally, after long observation and testing, the alien fleets began to retreat slightly. The Dralax sent quiet signals, likely reporting their findings. The Kirans pulled back to asteroid cover, still silent but clearly reconsidering their next moves. Humans had shown strength, intelligence, and unpredictability. That combination was a warning no species could ignore. Captain Hayes addressed the crew. "All stations, report readiness for return. Maintain alert, but we are safe for now. Humanity has made its first mark." The human fleet began to return toward the demonstration zone. Crew members were tired but proud. They had proven something remarkable. Humans could stand against the galaxy's powers with intelligence and courage, not just weapons. Claire walked to the observation deck, looking out at the stars. Somewhere in the shadows of space, alien fleets were calculating, unsure how to respond to humanity's unexpected strength. Humans had changed the balance of power with a single ship and a carefully coordinated fleet. Ethan Brooks continued negotiations at the Galactic Council. He spoke of peaceful intentions, of humans' desire for mutual respect, and of the need to recognize humanity as a rising power. The alien leaders listened, reluctantly impressed by the combination of diplomacy and undeniable strength. Captain Hayes joined Claire silently. "They will be cautious from now on," he said. "They have seen humans are not weak, and they have seen that we can adapt and respond. That is our greatest weapon, unpredictability combined with strength." Claire nodded, still staring at the distant stars. Humans had taken a bold step, and the galaxy would never see them the same way again. The Titan-class warship had done more than show power. It had shown the galaxy that humanity could think, adapt, and rise above any expectation. The stars beyond seemed sharper, brighter, and full of possibilities. Humanity had stood its ground. Humanity had proven it could face the galaxy with intelligence, courage, and unwavering determination. And this was only the beginning. The human fleet moved steadily toward the contested star system at the edge of known space. The Resolute led the formation, massive and silent, while smaller human ships maintained perfect formation around it. Claire Mason walked along the corridors of the Titan-class warship, monitoring every system. The energy core hummed steadily, shields glowed softly, and all weapon systems were fully operational. Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge, calm and focused. The alien fleets, cautious and wary, hovered near the border of human-controlled space. The Dralax scouts had returned, buzzing quietly as they analyzed the human fleet. The Kirans, large and silent, waited behind asteroids, their massive ships hidden but clearly tracking every human movement. "Captain," Claire said, pointing to the sensor screen, "both fleets are holding position. They are testing our limits. They are watching, waiting for us to make a mistake." Hayes nodded. "We will give them no mistakes. Prepare tactical readiness. Full shields, engines primed, weapons at standby. Show strength without provoking them." The human crew worked silently, each member performing their duties with precision. They had trained for this moment, and now every calculation, every drill, every system design mattered. Humanity had spent decades building its fleet, its technology, and its strategy. The galaxy had underestimated humans, but that would end today. Claire walked past the control panels, checking energy levels and shield output. Every system was performing perfectly. The Resolute had been built not only to survive the most extreme conditions, but to adapt, respond, and outmaneuver any opponent. This was more than a warship. It was a symbol of human ingenuity, resilience, and courage. Captain Hayes spoke over the intercom. All stations prepare for final demonstration. This is a display of strategy, precision, and readiness. No shots unless attacked. We will show them that humanity can defend itself, and we will not hesitate if provoked. The human fleet began moving in coordinated patterns. The smaller ships weaved around the Titan-class warship, forming a dynamic formation that shifted continuously. The Resolute adjusted shields, redirected energy, and activated defensive arrays, demonstrating both raw power and precision. Claire watched the sensors closely. The Dralek's fleet edged closer, probing with energy signatures and scanning weapon systems. The Kirans remained hidden, but their ships shifted subtly, tracking every move. Humans responded calmly, demonstrating control and coordination. "Captain, they are testing reaction times and defensive measures," Claire said. "We are maintaining perfect response. No errors detected." Hayes nodded. "Good. Let them see human adaptability. Let them understand that we are not reckless, but we are ready." Suddenly, the Draleks launched a small attack, a series of energy pulses aimed at testing the human shields. Claire's fingers flew over the console. Shields flared, absorbing the pulses without damage. The smaller human ships executed evasive maneuvers, maintaining formation while remaining ready for countermeasures. "Excellent," Hayes said calmly. "Observe and respond. Do not escalate. Show intelligence, not anger." The Draleks withdrew slightly, analyzing the human response. They had expected panic or a chaotic reaction, but humans acted with precision, discipline, and intelligence. Their calculations had failed to predict human adaptability. Then, from behind the asteroid fields, the Kirans made their move. A small fleet of massive ships emerged, testing energy shields and probing human positions. The Titan-class warship responded immediately. Shields adjusted, energy distribution shifted, and defensive drones deployed automatically. Every move was calculated but flexible. Humans were showing that they could think faster, adapt better, and respond more efficiently than any other species in the galaxy. Claire felt her heart race. Years of work, sleepless nights, and careful planning were being tested. The humans were holding their ground. They were proving that their combination of technology, intelligence, and courage could face even the most powerful alien fleets. Captain Hayes gave calm orders over the intercom. "Prepare tactical demonstration Gamma. Show range, precision, and defensive capability. Avoid offensive escalation. Observe and adapt." The Resolute moved through space like a living machine. Engines flared, shields pulsed, and energy emitters displayed controlled bursts, sweeping in patterns that highlighted both defense and potential attack capabilities. Smaller ships moved in perfect coordination, mirroring the Titan-class warship's movements with seamless precision. The alien fleets hesitated. They had expected humans to overreact, to panic, to make mistakes, but the humans were steady. The combination of discipline, adaptability, and precision froze the alien commanders. They realized that attacking would be risky. The humans could respond unpredictably, but efficiently. Their unpredictability was now a weapon. Claire monitored the energy levels. The core remained stable. Shields absorbed all tests without issue, and weapon systems were ready if needed. The humans had achieved something remarkable. The mere presence of a single ship, the Titan-class warship, and its supporting fleet had frozen two powerful alien fleets in space. Then Hayes spoke. "All stations, prepare for final demonstration. We will show operational strength without firing. Let them see the full capability of humanity's fleet. The Resolute executed a series of complex maneuvers, combining speed, agility, and energy control. Smaller ships responded in perfect synchrony. Shields pulsed in sequence, energy beams lit up in precise patterns, and holographic displays showed the ship systems functioning at maximum efficiency. The humans had created a display of power, intelligence, and strategy that no species could ignore. Claire felt pride swell in her chest. Humanity had achieved something no one thought possible. The Resolute was not just a weapon, it was a symbol of human ingenuity, determination, and courage. Humans had announced themselves to the galaxy, not with aggression, but with precision and intelligence. The alien fleets hesitated, sending quiet messages between themselves. The Dralax retreated slightly, sending reports that likely calculated the risks of engagement. The Kirans remained partially hidden, but their movement slowed. Humans had forced the galaxy's strongest powers to reconsider their assumptions. Captain Hayes addressed the crew. All stations, maintain formation. Shields at full, weapons standby. We will hold position. Humanity has proven itself today. Stand ready for any response, but do not provoke. The human fleet held position. Crew members checked systems, monitored energy outputs, and communicated quietly. No one spoke loudly. The atmosphere was tense but controlled. Humans had faced the galaxy and held their ground without firing a single shot. Claire walked to the observation deck, looking out at the stars. Somewhere beyond the sensors, alien fleets were communicating, planning, and calculating. Humans had shown that they were not weak. Humans had shown that they could think, adapt, and respond faster than any other species in the galaxy. Ethan Brooks continued negotiations at the Galactic Council. He spoke of humanity's peaceful intentions, but also of the undeniable proof of strength. Alien leaders listened, reluctantly impressed by the combination of diplomacy and technology. They had underestimated humans, and now they could not ignore them. The Resolute remained in position, its massive hull reflecting the distant light of the stars. Smaller ships formed protective patterns, scanning the surrounding space. The humans had demonstrated not only technology, but strategy, courage, and intelligence. Captain Hayes joined Claire silently on the observation deck. "They will think twice before challenging humanity again," he said. Claire nodded, still staring at the stars. Humanity had taken a bold step into the galaxy, proving that they could stand against powerful alien fleets with strategy, intelligence, and courage. The Titan-class warship had done more than show power. It had shown the galaxy that humans could rise above expectation and adapt to any challenge. The stars beyond seemed brighter, sharper, filled with possibilities. Humanity had proven that it could face the galaxy without fear. The alien powers had paused, hesitant to act, forced to reconsider their approach. Claire smiled slightly. Humans had arrived. They had shown strength without aggression, intelligence without arrogance, and courage without recklessness. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. Captain Hayes spoke quietly, almost to himself. "This is only the beginning. Humanity will grow stronger, and the galaxy will learn that we are not to be ignored." Claire looked at the Resolute, its massive frame still and silent. It was more than a ship. It was a promise, a symbol of determination, ingenuity, and courage. Humans had taken their place among the stars, and no one could challenge that now. The crew moved about quietly, monitoring systems and preparing for the next mission. Humanity had made its first mark, and the galaxy had noticed. The Titan-class warship had not fired a single shot, but it had achieved victory. Claire gazed out at the distant stars, thinking of the future. Humans would explore, defend, and grow. They had proven that they could face the galaxy and adapt to any challenge. And this was only the beginning. Captain Hayes stood beside her, his eyes on the stars. "They will respect us now," he said. "They will remember today." Claire nodded. Humanity had shown the galaxy that it was clever, courageous, and unpredictable. The Titan-class warship was more than a weapon. It was proof that humans could rise above any expectation and carve their place among the stars. The stars shimmered beyond the observation deck. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would remember the day the Titan-class warship made its debut. It was the beginning of a new era, one where humans would not be underestimated. And somewhere deep in space, the alien fleets remained frozen, hesitant, and respectful. Humanity had triumphed, not through brute force alone, but through intelligence, courage, and the will to rise above expectation. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. The galactic powers freeze as humanity's Titan-class warship makes its debut.